Hi everyone, it's Dawn and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, NCL is at it again, and this time they are canceling up to 38 cruises on 3 different ships. They're just outright canceling them altogether. They're not redeploying them, they're not shortening them, they're not changing the itineraries. They're canceling them altogether, and you might be receiving a notification in the mail any day now. So before I get into that story, I just want to let you know that, as many of you know, I brought my nephew Paul on his 2nd cruise ever on my last sailing on the MSC Seascape, and we were staying in the MSC Yacht Club. Well, he enjoyed himself so much that he decided to do some videos on his own about the MSC Yacht Club and the MSC cruising and his experience and his shore excursions and everything on our movie-related channel that I have with Paul, Mark, and myself, where we cover movies and talk about other stuff as well, like cruising apparently. So I'll leave a link down below if you want to go and check out some of those videos that he's put up on the channel now. I think you might enjoy them. They're a different perspective from somebody who does not cruise a lot. So it goes from a person who's done 180 plus cruises and a person who's done 2 cruises. So you'll get a very different possible opinion on the MSC Seascape. So check them out. I'll leave the link right down below in the description below this video. But in the meantime, NCL is just told travel advisors that, yeah, they're canceling some cruises starting in 2025. And they're canceling 38 of them on 3 different ships. They're just outright canceling them, and they're not really giving a reason why, but most people feel that it's going to be a fleet redeployment, and you might see why when you see the ships that are moving and you'll see the destinations that they're going to. So the first ship that they're moving is going to be the NCL Jewel. Now, the NCL Jewel was supposed to start sailing November 23rd till April 5th of next year, till April 5th, 2026. They were doing 5 to 14 night sailings out of the Bahamas to places like Nassau and other Caribbean islands in the Bahamas, etc. Very beach-like orient tropical getaways, right? The typical one that most of us are used to, the Caribbean, Mexico, going up in the Cabo San Lucas on the west coast, you know, etc. The typical beach, warm weather trips, which is, you know, pretty standard fare. So that one won't come as too big of a shock to a lot of people. There's a lot of options for those cruises, right? You can pick up other ships, you can pick up other cruise lines. There's lots of availability in the winter time and the fall for the Caribbean. However, the other ships that they're changing are a little more unique. For instance, the Norwegian Star was going to be doing cruises in November 20th till April 14th to South America, where they would visit, you know, Rio de Janeiro and places along those lines, and then all the way up into the beauty and the majestic wildlife, etc., of Antarctica, which is a much more unique cruise to try and rebook yourself on, a different itinerary altogether. There's not like one everyday sailing from, you know, Rio de Janeiro going up into Antarctica. It's just not an availability that is out there. There's not 5 and 6 ships from each cruise line heading there like there is, say, to Alaska or heading into the Caribbean. So it's going to be a little harder for guests to make other alternatives. And we are into just a year away before all these start. So it might seem like a long time, but remember, 2025 is over 65% booked already from the cruise lines, which means the availability and the cabin choices are much less. And on unique itineraries, it's even worse to try and find an available cabin. It really makes a big difference. And if you're more than 2 people in the cabin, it can be downright impossible sometimes. I was searching for a cruise just yesterday on a cruise line, and I searched for a regular balcony cabin. Wasn't a very unique cruise at all, and it was in like April. And I searched for 2 people, and I had a choice on this entire huge, large ship of about 30 cabins. And then they called me and said, oh, we might want to add 1 more person. So I searched for 3 people, and I was down to a choice of 2 cabins, and that was it for the entire sailing. So it just gives you an idea how full ships are nowadays. It's getting really, really crazy. And finally, the next one that they're canceling is the Norwegian Dawn, which was set for November 2nd to around April 12th. And that will be sailing to different places like Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. So you get the majestic wildlife of Africa, the wild nature beauty that's there, and then you can head off to some amazing, amazing places in Asia, from Singapore into Japan, into Taiwan, into Indonesia, you name it. There are so many beautiful destinations in Asia to go to that are very, again, unique experiences with not a lot of opportunity to switch to other cruises and other ships. There's just not a ton of other ships out there to do this with. So people are going to be scrambling, and a lot of people don't even know yet. It was the travel advisors were warned of this first, and now they're sending out the message to everybody out there to be, this is coming down the pipe. Now, Norwegian is doing something pretty good. You will get a full refund of whatever money that you placed on it. So if you put a deposit down of say $500, you will get that money refunded back to your form of payment that you used. Also, they're going to give everybody a 10% future cruise discount of their cruise fare going forward. So that's at least some reward for having to make your changes and everything. Hopefully you can find another Norwegian ship that's sailing into the destination you want to do, especially like the unique itineraries like Africa and Antarctica. I'm sure they're not just going to abandon those locations at all in Asia. They're just redeploying ships. Maybe they're going to put a bigger ship in some of those areas like Asia. Maybe they're going to have a bigger ship going to Africa. Who knows? But they are making changes. They haven't told us what those changes are, but at least you'll have a little 10% bump on your next cruise, which makes the pain just a little more easy to take. And again, they have not given us any where these ships are going to go, what they're going to do now, where they're going to switch to. All we know is that in the next couple months, they will be launching new itineraries, and they really haven't given us a reason why to switch. But Norwegian has been doing a lot of switching of ships and rerouting destinations as more ships come online, like the Viva and the new Aqua, etc. They're redeploying their fleets going into 2025, 2026, especially with the turmoil still happening in the Red Sea, in Ukraine, etc. They're making these changes, and unfortunately, that means your cruise might just get canceled. Well, let me know what you guys think. Do you think, oh, I could just switch on a dime, that's no problem? Or do you think, hey, maybe some of these itineraries might be just a little harder to get to at this short notice? A year seems like a long time. Right now in cruising, it's not very long at all. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.